How you doing, Jimmy?
All right.
Jimmy Trivette, Cordell Walker. You guys are going to be working together.
Yeah. Good to meet you, Walker. Heard an awful lot about you. Some of it good, some of it, but I guess the best thing to do is keep an open mind, huh?
How's the water?
It's terrific. It's fantastic.
Jimmy Trivette was way more than Walker's sidekick. He was the dude that made the whole show feel balanced. While Walker was the quiet, stoic, old-school cowboy dropping roundhouse kicks and moral lessons, Trivette was the tech brain. He was the guy with jokes, the smooth talker, the one who could bridge the past with the present. Clarence Gilyard Jr. played him with such charisma that he always stood out, even when the show didn't give him enough shine. That's why a spin-off built around him would have been perfect. The formula was already there. The audience already loved him. All the writers had to do was flip the camera and put him in the lead. Imagine Jimmy in his own spin-off. Something simple, sharp, to the point. He finally gets promoted into running his own Ranger task force in Dallas. He's not just Walker's partner anymore. He's the leader, the one calling the shots. The tone of the show would have been different. Less Western morality tale, more urban thriller. It would dive into cybercrime, drug cartels, hacker groups, undercover stings, and gritty Dallas street crime. Trivette was the perfect Ranger for that world because he was younger, modern, and able to handle a computer as well as a fistfight. He had that sense of humor that kept things light when the cases got heavy. The spinoff would have leaned into all those qualities, showing him balancing leadership with action, brains with brawn, and humor with heart. The storylines practically write themselves. One week, his NFL past comes back in a gambling scandal, forcing him to confront his old life and prove he's more than just an ex-athlete. Another week, his brother shows up caught in the wrong crowd, putting him in the middle of family loyalty and Ranger duty. Another week, hackers frame him for stealing police files, turning the tables and making him the hunted. Or maybe the rookie partner gets kidnapped by a cartel, forcing Trivette to pull off a daring rescue. The season could build toward a massive finale where a hacker group launches a full-scale cyber attack on Dallas. The city shuts down. Trivette has to lead his team to stop it, pulling every trick he knows. In the end, when the dust settles, Walker could step in for just a moment. Not to take over, but to nod and say, "You've got this, partner." That one line would seal the passing of the torch and give fans chills. This wouldn't just have been a cash grab spinoff. It would have made sense. Trivette already had the audience on his side. He had depth. He had backstory. He had heart. The show could have easily gone 5, 6, even 7 seasons. It could have carved out its own lane as the fast-paced, tech-driven Ranger series with a hero who wasn't afraid to be funny. A hero who wasn't afraid to be human, but who could still kick down a door when it mattered. Looking back now, the nostalgia makes it sting even more. How natural the transition from Walker Texas Ranger to Trivette would have been. How audiences would have followed him without hesitation. Fans were already rooting for him every episode. Giving him the spotlight would have just been the next step. One week he's going undercover in a street racing gang tied to smuggling. Another week he's protecting a deaf girl who witnessed a murder and learning how to communicate with her. And through it all, he's laughing, joking, and finding ways to solve problems with both brains and heart. That's why Trivette worked. Because he wasn't perfect, he wasn't stone-faced, he wasn't untouchable, he was relatable, he made mistakes, he cracked jokes, he relied on instincts and technology. And that made him the kind of lead that people would invest in for years. You could still bring in Alex or CD for special appearances. You could keep the old DNA alive. But the focus would always be on Trivette stepping out of Walker's shadow, standing tall. If CBS had taken that shot and launched Trivette in the late 90s or early 2000s, it would have been a hit. The audience was already there. The character was already beloved. Clarence Gilyard Jr. was more than ready to carry the mantle. Instead of always being remembered as Walker's partner, he could have been remembered as the lead of his own series. The face of a new era of Texas Rangers. The legend who showed that you don't always have to be the cowboy with the roundhouse kick. Sometimes being the modern, funny, tech-savvy, big-hearted Ranger is enough to build an entire show around.